Dear community members, Papa Jar here, founder and executive director of the African Leadership Group. I wanted to come to you this morning and share with you my thought and ideas after watching the first presidential debate last night. I know I'm not the only one that have ideas. All of us should. But I also want to start to let you know, as the leader of the community, as the person I am not a Republican nor a Democrat. I am independent. But also I am everything that is for the best of our community. But what we witnessed last night is purely a lack of leadership that should concern all of us. But to make the matter worse, you have all the leaders that are endorsing the behaviors of these two leaders that's pretending to lead our country. I think that's what put us in a crisis of leadership. But as a community, as African immigrant, I want to make sure we don't get caught up in that. And we go back to focus on the issues that are relevant to us. And that's what I wanted to come and remind you of and talk to you about. How important it is for us to stay focused on those issues. When we go to the ballot, when we go to the poll to vote, we think about this issue. And I want to start with the fact that we are faced with this pandemic where thousands and thousands of people are losing their life. And as African immigrants, most of us are in the healthcare industry. What does it make us? It makes us being exposed day in and day out to this pandemic, to this virus. So we want to make sure that there's the healthcare reform that people are talking about. We want to make sure that the healthcare workers are being taken care of. What are we doing to make sure those individuals from our community are being protected? What are we doing to make sure that those people from our community are being compensated the way that they should be? But we still want to thank you. And we take a lot of pride being the essential workers we are and being upfront saving life, because not everybody is given to that opportunity. But we need to think about it as a community. What are these two leaders that are pretending to lead our country? What can they do? What are they telling us they're going to do when it comes to that? And I want to transition to another industry that we are heavily involved in, the transportation industry. If you look at Uber, if you look at Lyft, most of the employees came from our community. And these drivers are exposed because throughout the day they deal with hundreds and hundreds of people. What are those companies and the government are doing to make sure that these people are protected and these people are compensated the right way that they should be? When you talk about essential workers, you cannot leave out the people that work at the airport. And we know any airport you go in this country, you will find African immigrants working at the airport. But I want to focus more at Denver International Airport, at DIA, where we have a vast majority of their employees coming from our community. Anybody that come into our great state, they're the first people that you see. From the people that are in charge of the wheelchair, from the people that are at the gate, from the people that are the baggage claim, all of them, and most of them are from our community. They are exposed to this pandemic, but yet they still show up to work with a smile on their face. So I want you to think about, as essential workers working at the airport, ask yourself what these candidates are thinking about or promise us to do to make sure that we are compensated the right way and we are protected. Education. Right now, we don't know what the future of our children will look like, because we know any country that is not in a position to offer a good education to their children, the future probably will look dark. We've been faced with our pandemic where our children have been forced to study at home on the so-called online schooling. While we know most of us as parents, we have to go to work, but how can you leave a first grader, a second grader at home and expect them to sit 2 to 3 hours in front of a computer and do what they need to do? We know it's been challenging. But we need to look at what is the education system going to do or going to do to take care of our children, to make sure those that are falling behind will have the opportunity to catch up and be performing, especially reading at grade level. We need to look at closely the education system. Immigration. We have a lot of members of our community, as I'm speaking right now, in jail. And they've been there for 2 to 3 years, haven't had a chance to see a judge. We have a lot of members of our community that have filed their paperwork for years, haven't been able to bring their family, haven't been able to work because the immigration system is blocked. The immigration system is not looking to their case. I think that's something we should definitely think about when we go to the post to cast our vote on November 3rd. We need an immigration reform. Safety. We know we are all concerned when it comes to our safety. And by the way, let's keep our thought and prayers to the Joel family, where we lost 5 precious lives on an arson murder fire. All of us, we can leave our house in the morning, but not sure if we're going to make it back late that day. Because right now, we don't have safety in our country. So I wanted to come and share with you this issue that you need to think about, so that way we're not caught up on this lack of leadership. So we think about, here are the things that's relevant to us as a community. So if you want to come and engage with our community, you better come and bring solution to this issue. But as a leader, as a member of the African Leadership Group, anytime we talk about issue, we want to try our best to do solution. What is our part in this situation? What can we do to make sure that at least we have done our part? I think the first thing is to be role model citizen. We need to lead by example and abide by the rule and regulation of this country. Extremely important. We need to make sure that when it comes to the education of our children, we are involved. We go and attend the school board meeting. We go to the school, the parent-teacher conference, we attend those meetings. It is very important that we do our part. When it comes to employment, it is very important that we look into ways that we can start our business. We look into ways that we keep paying tax and giving back to this country that are giving us so much. Because not all of us can be doing the same thing. Being employed is great, but being your employer, that's the best thing that you can do. We get trapped into the system where we rent year after year. Home ownership is very important. Look into ways for you to be able to get out from renting to own your own home, so you can start investing and building generational wealth. And that I want to ask the banking system, because I even want to have people look into the banking system, because if somebody has demonstrated that they've been paying their rent for 2 or 3 years in a row, they should make them qualify to buy a home. So we need to review what is the approval system. How can we get more members of our community into a home? The list go on and on. But most importantly, what I wanted to do this morning is to come and share with you my disappointment watching last night's debate. And I know I am not alone. But most importantly, to share with you things that we should start thinking about as a community. Those issues that are relevant to us. And I would love to welcome everybody to come and visit the African Leadership Group office and share your thought, share your concern, but most importantly, to bring solution alongside. I wanted to thank you for your time. This was Papa, founder and executive director of the African Leadership. Till next time, make it a great day. Thank you.